Hello, everybody, and welcome to, I suppose, the first, not my first video on the channel. I've had many videos on the channel that I've since deleted, but the first baseball card opening video. And I think this comes in the wake of, guys like Cody Martin and Austin Farmer, and of course, Jonathan H., and, chasing Donnie Baseball, and of course, the Jabs brothers, which is kind of the kings of this entire thing anyway. I wasn't originally going to do it, and I'm not so sure if I'm going to do it again. Probably will. I'm just too invested in this community, with everybody who's in it, and I'll probably make more videos. But I figured that I would make one at least as an appreciation video for, as you can see, there's 3 boxes of 92 and 93 hobby boxes of cards, along with what's here in front of me, which I'm going to be opening today. And a slew of others that Jonathan H. had sent me in return for some of my fan mail. So I figured if he could do that for me, I'm going to go ahead and at least attempt to make a video for him. And for, I guess, probably the other 2 people who see this. So I just moved into my house in downtown Grand Rapids. So if there is any noise, I guess I'm not sure if the quality or how the quality is going to come out. But if there is any noise, it's because my house is about 20 feet from a pretty busy road in Grand Rapids. But I did get my office all set up, which is where I'm at right now. It looks really nice. Maybe sometime I'll give you a tour of the 10 by 12 room here. But for now, I'm going to be opening this box of cards. I think that this is the best one of all the ones that I've received. Not the best one in terms of quality or whatever, but I think that I like Stadium Club. I really like the new Stadium Club. I think it was not the first time I've ever opened a package that I've been really surprised by, but pretty much. I opened it up and I'm like, wow, it's one thing to watch Jabs open, case after case of it. And you watch it on your phone screen or your computer screen or whatever. But when actually opening a pack of Topps Stadium Club, it's just really surprising just how nice it is. Especially because I'm used to opening, late 80s, early 90s, junk wax. So I figured I'd grab the super premium Topps Stadium Club 1992 Series 1. I believe there are 3 series here. There's nothing, I don't think there's any real crazy chase card in this. I'm trying to think if Jeff Kent's rookie card is in this. I do not know. I know a lot of the people in the community are just whizzes when it comes to, what year the rookie cards are, looking at a design and immediately knowing exactly what year it is. Jabs is really good at that. Me, not so much. I think that for me, I collect a lot of memorabilia, and I do collect cards, but what my plan with this is just to kind of pass along. What I'm going to do is probably set aside, Hall of Famers and this and that. Anybody that I know that Jonathan H. could probably find a fun owner for. So I'll crack this open, enjoy the experience and share with you guys, and, set aside anything that I think, he might be able to enjoy or give to other people who will enjoy. So, and I guess if there's anything that, the 1 or 2 people who probably see this video, if there's anything you want, just drop a comment. I'm more than happy to send you it in the mail. It's, 50 cent, $1 postage, whatever, I don't care. So yeah, without further ado, I will get cracking with this. Hopefully it comes out nice. I don't know. I've made videos before. So I guess my biggest concern is the audio. So I guess if it's super loud, I'll probably just delete this. But yeah, so these I think the photography on this is ahead of the time, at least compared to a lot of the stuff like 90 Fleer or whatever. I mean, these look really good. It even that's a big advertisement. Super premium picture cards produced with Kodak, which is not even a company anymore, imaging technology. So I'm looking forward to opening these. I think the best cards you can pull is the Barry Bonds, Mark McGwire, Don Mattingly, Cal Ripken, those guys. But I'm not exactly sure out of those. So I try to look it up, try to look up what the best cards were. And I couldn't figure out between Series 1, Series 2, and Series 3 how they broke them down. I don't know what the best, if you guys know a better resource in baseball card priceguide.com or whatever I use, let me know. So without further ado, I will crack these open now. So they look nice. I was doing this. feel like I'm at the, oh, there goes that. I feel like I'm at the store here. First pack. Oh yeah, I forgot they crack them in half here. All right, we got a Kip Gross, Deion Sanders. Somebody might want that. Greg Olson, Scott Fletcher, Mark Lee, Dave Henderson. Did I get one in here? Just kind of stuck together a little bit. Harold Reynolds, Dave Henderson, John Candelaria, Jaime Navarro, or Jamie Navarro, Teddy Hagura, Jim Jones, Terry Mulholland, Kent Herbeck, Rance Mullenix, and Ken Daly. And I think out of all those, you know, I'm not super familiar. This was before I was born. So I never really got to watch these guys play. So really all I got to base my knowledge off players is who's in the Hall of Fame, who my dad really liked at the time, and who's probably broadcasting or still in the game now. You know, or just names that I continuously see and I read the back of the card. Names that I continuously see as I open up this era. So yeah, like I said, I'm gonna try to set aside, you know, the ones that I think are interesting, and maybe you might not agree, but it's just the way it goes. So, all right, this whole flipping the cards thing is probably not going to be super entertaining every time, but Carlos Baerga, Mark Witten, Juan Samuel, Ken Patterson, Hensley Mullins, Lenny Webster, Eric Yelding, jeez, Dave Steeb, Rich Monteleone, Paul O'Neill, Wally Joyner. I think Jonathan H. said he was collecting Wally Joyner, or he knew somebody who was collecting Wally Joyner. I can't remember if it was him. I'm gonna put it in the set aside pile. But this is just such a great photo. This is kind of what I was talking about with Top Stadium Club. You're not gonna pull 90 Fleer and see this. I mean, I don't know how it looks on the camera. Honestly, I don't even know how this. I'm recording on an iPhone. I don't even know. Maybe this will come out all pixelated, but it just looks so good. I mean, you can see the dirt coming up. You can pretty much see his cleat spikes. And this is, I mean, 1992, it's just way ahead of its time. And I think it's relatively underappreciated for being in the junk wax era. So we'll get along here. Bud Black, Ramon Martinez, Franklin Stubbs, and finally, Kevin Bass. Next pack. All right. Craig Grebeck, Braulio Castillo, Doug Drabeck, Dale Murphy. I'm over that side. I don't know if I can't remember if somebody collects Dale Murphy or not, but I'll send it in now. Ooh, Dave Bergman. I don't think he's alive anymore. If he's the first baseman I'm thinking of, or maybe I'm thinking of. No, I think this is him. If he's the first baseman I'm thinking of, I think he passed away. I believe he's on the 84 team. Of course, it does not say. Yeah, well, I'll set that aside. You know, I'm a pretty big Tigers fan, which has been a tough couple seasons. You know, I think we're the worst team in baseball currently. But you know, we have the single A Whitecaps team here in Grand Rapids, or Comstock Park, which is just north of Grand Rapids. And it's $5 Thursdays for college students. I run up there. There's some big prospects. We just got Riley Green. He just got promoted to West Michigan A-ball. So looking forward to go. You can go up there and you can pretty much just walk up right to the the fence, and you just talk. You can talk with the players. Get their autographs. It's a much more relaxed environment, and it allows you to really kind of get close with even some of the big prospects like Riley Green, who signing bonus on his contract was like $6.18 million, and this is one of the biggest prospects of 2019, and there's a good chance he'll be in the major leagues. So it's a good opportunity to connect with potential major leaguers, and being a Tiger fan, I like to try to kind of hold on to Tiger stuff. I know there's a lot of Tiger fans. I got tons of Dave Bergmans, so if anybody wants it, just let me know. I'll probably give it to Jonathan H. and he can figure it out. Continue chugging. Don't want this to be a 2-hour video. So we got Dave Hollins, Gary Thurman, Anthony Young, Roberto Alomar. That's a nice looking card. Look at that. Set that aside. Mike Pagliarulo. Greg Cadaret, or Cadaret. Mike Sosha. Sean Boski. Reggie Harris. And last but not least, Ryan Bowen. Maybe least, I don't know. I have no idea who that is. So keep going here. I don't know if it's a better idea if I keep saying the names, because most of the names, it's like I'm not gonna be able to pronounce that properly. A lot of these guys, it's not like today's players where every single player that comes out of the pack, you know who it is. So a lot of these names I'm going to be butchering. So I don't know if it's a better. I'm trying to remember exactly what Jabs is. I feel like he mixes it up. I feel like sometimes he says it every time. Hey, there's Lance Parrish. He manages the Whitecaps. I feel like sometimes he says the name, sometimes he doesn't. So, I'll say the names on some of them. I guess whatever. Lance Parrish with the Angels, not with the Tigers there. Felix Furman, Spike Owen, Jerry Brown, club membership, Les Lancaster, Tom Candiotti, Scott Erickson, Lee Smith, Pat Kelly. Oh, nice Edgar Martinez. Nice looking card. Not an action shot, but really he's not even smiling or doing anything. But I guess they found that to be the most flattering photograph of Edgar Martinez for this set. So he's a Hall of Famer, so I'm going to go ahead and set that aside. We got Jake Buhner. Mark Gardner. Oh, look at who we got here. Walt Terrell. Looks like a spring training photo or something, because the palm tree in the back. Jimmy Key and Mike Boddicker? I don't know. Let's just get rolling here. Probably can move a little quicker. Anybody who makes a box of 92 top Stadium Club take 45 minutes. I don't know. I'm a rookie though. I don't, I'm just learning the game here. So Scott Lewis, Mark Grace. Somebody might want that. Mark Grace was popular. I always see his stuff around when I go up to my local car shop and whatnot. So somebody likes him. I don't know really much about him, but Francisco de la Rosa, club membership. Candy Maldonado, Kevin Brown, Bernard Gilkey, Shane Mack, Kevin Raymer, Ricky Bones, cool last name. Nice 92 baseball checklist. That's what that looks like. Larry Anderson, Dan Gackler. Nice Rob Deere. I never really liked Rob Deere, and I don't know why. Just seemed like maybe it was a name. Most people say, oh, that's a kind of a cool name, Rob Deer. I don't know. Just like how everybody has their cards that they didn't like Eric Plunks of the world, You just see him and you're like, eh. I'll set that aside. He's a Tiger. And Jose Guzman. So let's keep chugging. There's Ray Langford on the back. And also sort of on the back of Craig Worthington. Mark Lee. Harold Reynolds again. Dave Henderson again. John Candelaria, I believe again. Jamie Navarro again. Teddy Hagura, I believe again. John Cerruti. I am not familiar with this guy. Maybe it's because he was a Blue Jay. I'm not sure if maybe I've pulled his card before. I feel like I know my Tigers pretty well, or at least most of them when I see their cards. But this guy I don't know, so I'll set him aside anyway. He's got a Tiger uniform on. But one thing I actually do appreciate about this, and some people might not like it, is they actually feature another era of card on the back. For example, Terry Mulholland, which I believe we've already pulled him before. They show his rookie card for 1987, which is kind of interesting because, you can kind of get a feel of if for whatever reason you need a reference for what the player's rookie card is, you can go ahead and look. I know a lot of times I'll come across, there's so many different, 1992 sets and different, updates and series and this and that. It's kind of tough to exactly follow where their technical rookie card is. You can get an idea when their rookie card season was, but, not always when what the technical rookie card is. So this is a good reference point. Of course, most of these players, their rookie card is probably worth just as much, if not less, than than these cards for them. So, but still a cool feature, and I like that. Ray Langford, Dave Island, club membership, Bob Scanlon, John Orton, Jack McDowell, and Craig Worthington again. I'm probably going to stop saying, hey, look who's on the back there. I know somebody will want that. I'm probably going to stop saying the names, unless it's somebody worth saying, just because I feel like we're 17 minutes in the video. Hey, a nice Mickey Tettleton. That's a sweet card. Yeah. Mickey Tettleton. Set that aside. I don't want to take up too much time in this video. I don't want it to be way too long. Ryan Sandberg. But I'll make sure that you can see the card all right. The photography is so nice. I just kind of wish that with cards like this, they decided to do, like a nice action shot, something cool to look at. But it is what it is. It mixes it up. I suppose if every single card was a silhouette action shot, it might, can't really tell what the player looks like. You got it as a guy in a uniform and from far. So, except for Dennis Eckersley, there's no mistaking who that is. And I know somebody's probably going to want that, so I set that aside. Kevin Moss. I'm going to pronounce that. All right. Another pack down. Another pack to go. David Cone. I actually have interesting card. I get it, he's in the National League, he's got a hit, but that is just interesting that David Cone's photo is him batting. So I want to put that aside. I have an autograph card of his. I don't really know a whole lot about him. He threw a perfect game or a no-hitter or whatever he's famous for. Oh, that's a nice looking Larry Walker right there. Look at that. I'm gonna set that aside too. But yeah, David Cone. Jim Abbott. He's the guy who didn't have a hand. And he was just a phenomenally inspirational pitcher. Of course, this was before I was born, so I don't know. I didn't get to watch it. I believe he threw either a no-hitter. I got to get better up to date with who threw a no-hitter versus a perfect game, but I know he either threw a no-hitter or a perfect game. And it's just phenomenal. I actually saw a thing, somebody might know about that. I saw a thing on Facebook of a kid who was taking infield, I believe, the Cardinals, and he had the same situation. He was playing first base. And I just, I used to love playing baseball. I mean, I still love playing baseball. I was playing, Grand Rapids City League ball. And, it's just one of those things that I can get lost in. My heart goes out, honestly, my heart goes out for people who are in that situation where, and they're still good. Jim Abbott was phenomenal. This kid was, making plays, throwing the ball, switching the glove. It was just so inspirational. And I just could not imagine. And I'm just forever baffled by it. It's both sad and inspirational. That's the best way to put it. So, interesting. Just keep moving here. Yeah. Cool cards. Definitely cool cards. I'd like to give another shout out to Jonathan H. for hooking me up with this. My local, we only have one card shop here, and in the greater Grand Rapids area, I know there are some like smaller, like not so much like card shops as they are like a guy running it out of a garage, and it's not like I don't think he's getting it from a supplier or anything like that. It's just he collected it and he's selling it. But the one that I go to is called Legend Sports and Games. It's really the only one over here, and I grew up going there when because I'm from the Lansing area originally, and I grew up going to the one in Lansing, and it's the same owner, and he had the two stores. But I would go, and that was just my favorite thing to do. It was in the mall. And so I asked him one of the more recent times that I was there, whatever happened to the Legends in Lansing? I mean, everything in the Lansing Mall was going out of business anyway. It's no real fun place to be anymore. But he said it just didn't make sense to have two locations, because with the memorabilia, it's not like it's not like Walmart or whatever, or Target, where they have pretty much just an unlimited supply of any product. It's hard because somebody will come into the Grand Rapids store and asking for a product that they have in Lansing, and they lose out on that sale because that product that they have or they advertise that they have is at a store. Is at a store an hour and a half away. So he said they just had to shut it down. There's way more business where there's always people in there. I'm always surprised because you think like, oh, this this community, this hobby, it's so limited. It's so limited to the internet really at this point. Like, I don't know anybody in my personal life that I talk to that also collects. So everybody that I know that collects heavily, aside from my family, is on YouTube pretty much. So I don't know about that, Brady Williams. So it's nice to go in there and get cards, but they don't always have, they have stuff like this, junk wax stuff, but it's so few and far between. And when they do have it, it's more than, not that I feel comfortable to pay, but they have no problem selling 90 Fleer for $18, and I think that they're kind of in the perfect market to be able to do that. People who go in there are not looking for old baseball cards. They're looking for there's a Paul Gibson. Are not looking for stuff like this. They're looking for signed balls, signed photos, custom framing, signings. It's more of that type of shop. They do sell, and of course they sell all the new top stuff like in Bowman and all that. So that's their big. Nice, Chris Sabo making his first appearance ever on my channel. So I go up there, I go up there and I get my supplies. And then, Jonathan H. just sent me enough pack openings to last me. So I don't have to worry about that, getting my fix, as I call it. But I like going up there. I like seeing what they have. But they just don't have this type of stuff, which is kind of where the baseball card exchange comes into play, looking on there and see what they have. And I like that. I like the baseball card exchange. I like going on there. I don't often frequently buy stuff on there. Another Waltero. But, the baseball card exchange is just fun to look at. It's just fun to go in there. It's just fun to see what the prices are of, an old pack or an old box and, the authenticated box. And so I just kind of wish, I feel like it's like Eric Jabs is living in an area that, and, of course it's all perception. It's what we see, but it's like he's living in an area that's just the only place in the entire world is, there's a Mike Heath not with the Tigers. Where all of the baseball card flea markets and stuff, he's right there. Of course, at the beginning of his flea market, he's like, we drove 2 hours, we drove 3 hours round trip. It's like, I guess you do have to move. You have to figure out where to go. And I haven't found that yet. I've only been living in Grand Rapids for, I don't know, about 3 years for school. So I don't know. I don't know my way around so well. And there's certainly nothing in the Lansing, I can tell you that. And maybe there is, and I just don't know. So, Devin White, I used to have his autograph. I have a signed 8x10 of him, and I have no idea what happened to that. Dante Bichette. Hey, Bo Bichette. Maybe somebody might want that. I don't know. Maybe it's just because his boy's doing well. All right. Willie McGee. Somebody want a Willie McGee? I'm not going to throw it in the pile, but let me know. Throw it in the comments. If you want that Willie McGee, Milk Kyler. If you want that Willie McGee, let me know and I'll fish it out. Nice Ozzie Yin. I know that's Jonathan H's favorite player right there. Look at that bad boy. Nice. I'm gonna throw that in there just so he has to look at it. We have yet to get really any of the, oh gosh, I almost sounded very foolish. I was about to say we were yet to get any of the very large names that you can pull out of this. Cal Ripken Jr. Really, what I've noticed from reading about his cards is that, on the baseballpriceguide.com, I don't even know if that's reliable. I'm assuming it is. Somebody went through and took the time to price out every card. I'm gonna take it on faith. Nothing when I go on there, nothing it just blows me away. Like I'm not like, whoa, really, Cal Ripken? This is $15. Like who made that up? No, I think they got this booked at $1.25. But that's the thing about Cal Ripken's cards. Any year that I look at is not a 5-cent common. It's not a 10-cent common. It's just they always have it booked at above $1. Same with Don Mattingly. But that is a nice looking card, and I'm assuming somebody's gonna be happy with that. So just go ahead and put that in the Jonathan H pile, as I'm going to start calling it. Frank Castillo, Dave Smith, another Bernie Williams, Al Osuna, Willie Frazier, John Kruk. I don't know. See, I want to know what people's perception is of John Kruk. My only perception and my only real experience and knowledge of John Kruk is I think he was in the MLB Network for a while. I could be wrong about that. I think he was in TV and I would watch him there, but I think it was on the MLB Network. And in that time that Randy Johnson threw one like 6 feet over his head, and it was just, I think it was in the All-Star game or something, and it was just a hilarious at bat. And he was terrified. I mean, I would be terrified even if Randy Johnson would throw him right down the middle. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, he's certainly not by any means a Hall of Famer. So I don't know. I just have a good feeling about him, and he could have been the worst player ever. I don't know. I've never had a conversation with any other person about John Kruk. So if anyone wants to know what they feel about John Kruk, let me know. Another outlier. I am noticing, I believe there's a ton of cards in this set. I mean, there's 3 series of it. But I feel like I'm seeing a lot of the same cards. I was going through there. There's like 609 cards, and it just seems like I'm getting a lot of the Series 2. Would you look at that? We got a Series 2 making a sneak appearance into this box. That's pretty cool. I'm not gonna be like, I think did that happen? Did that happen to Jabs or something? He got a random pack in an authenticated box. This is by no means authenticated. It actually didn't have any wrap on it at all. So I don't know. I'm fine with this. I'm not sure. I'm sure I've opened Series 2 plenty. I'm just curious if it's any different. If there are any differences. Oh, there we go. Gary Sheffield right on top. I think a few times I've gotten my picture taken with Gary Sheffield when he was with the Tigers towards the end of his career. And they did on-field photo day. I don't think they don't do that anymore, I don't believe. But they used to do on-field photo day where you go down and a lot of the big names would come around. I have a whole collage thing somewhere where with me and all these guys from like the 06 championship team and stuff like that. And they 07, 08, those years. Gary Sheffield, I'm assuming he's going to be a Hall of Famer someday. I mean, he's got over 500 home runs. I don't know his total hit count, but he played forever. I mean, he's cool because he's one of those guys that, like I said, like his rookie card. Look, his rookie card is from 1989. I mean, it's interesting because I wasn't even thought of in 1989, and he was playing in 1989. And then I also got to see him play in person at a game and remember it and get my picture taken with him while he was a player. I always do that. I always go and see, players who I've seen play and trying to connect them back. And sometimes I'll go on like Baseball Reference and just kind of dig a wormhole and see like, oh, well, this player faced Greg Maddux. Well, Greg Maddux pitched forever, and then, or the same with Nolan Ryan, this player, who I've seen in my lifetime also had an at-bat against Nolan Ryan. And well, okay, Nolan Ryan pitched in the 1960s. So who is he faced? And I'll just dig this wormhole and see how many players like I can connect back to like Babe Ruth or Ty Cobb or something like that. Oh, check it out. Series 2 coming through. Got a Frank Thomas and a Darryl Strawberry. What about all the good players are in in Series 2? I don't know. Yeah, I'm going to set those aside for sure. I'm not noticing any immense difference here between the two. Actually, there might not be any difference. Just maybe one's called Series 1, the other's called Series 2. So, and again, if somebody knows, maybe it's like the high cards are in Series 3, middle cards are in Series 2, and low cards are in Series 1. I don't know. I just like opening the stuff, looking at the pictures, reading the stats. The stats are, not so much on these because, well, you do get all this, and you get this, and you get the rookie card, and this is still pretty cool back. But it's like, cracking like 90 Donruss or something. You don't really get the stats. And I like reading the stats. I like showing, my girlfriend Ellie the stats. She's still learning, she knows like the basics. Like, oh, somebody batting 300 and they're, really good player versus somebody batting $180. She gets that. She understands, how home runs and all that stuff works. But, it's like WAR and walks and hits per inning pitch and stats like that that she still struggles with. So, but I like going through it. I'm not even sure that walks and hits per innings pitch is on the back of a card. I'm not seeing it. So it might be nowadays, but another Rob Deer. I'm starting to think that that's the deal. Like, all these cards are like below a certain number. Maybe I could be wrong. I don't know. I didn't do enough research pre-break. Andy Van Slyke. That's a nice looking card. I think the problem here is that it's obvious that Andy Van Slyke's the one sliding in. We all know that. But if you didn't know who Andy Van Slyke was, you'd be confused because you see two names. I guess it's process of elimination too. There's no, the central, I took a photography class in college, so now I'm looking at photos is completely different than the way I did before. You know, so the focal point is this guy here. So I mean, you know, I'm probably, all these guys that took these photos are a million times better photographers than I could ever be, or even dream of being. So I'm just a college kid in his office cracking cards for a video. So, all right, we are gonna have to speed things up because we are 35 minutes in and about halfway through. Or I think almost exactly halfway through. All right, let's get the system down here. Barry Larkin, that's a nice card. Does take a little extra time when the cards are all which way. Nice Wangan. Somebody want that? I don't know. I think everybody's got their particular player they like, particular players they like. And I think that a lot of times it doesn't really matter. Oh, nice Curt Schilling. It doesn't really matter what anybody says or what happens. You know, a little wrapper overflow here. I've always wondered, like, when Eric does so many case breaks, what is he doing, like, with all of those wrappers? Guess we'll never know. Sometimes I wish that he would do like a behind the scenes of a recording of a video, because there's so many people who, you know, follow him that do the same thing, that also record videos for YouTube, you know, a lot of which I subscribe to and I watch. You know, but it'd be nice to see what the legend does, what his setup's like. So I think it'd be fun to do maybe a split screen live stream sometime. I don't even know if that's possible, but like a split screen live stream of him doing a break, just a box or whatever, not like one of those big breaks, of what his view is and what it's like, you know, if you were to be standing 10 feet away, to the side of him, what it looks like. What's the system of him moving wrappers. And I mean, I'm sure it's probably not a secret. I just don't know I'm sure he probably brought it up too, you know, in live streams and whatnot. You know, I don't watch every single second of everything that's put out there. But yeah, I mean, what if it could just, you know, for a long time, I had no clue. I was like, if this could be some high production studio, because I mean, you don't know. You know, cracking these cases, you got a staff of 6 people working behind them. And I was, you know, a lot of the big YouTube channels, you know, operate like a TV show. One of the channels that I like to watch recreationally is Good Mythical Morning. I think that they put out some super entertaining stuff. I mean, they do all sorts of stuff. Also, you know, just you go on there and you know you're going to be entertained. But I was watching a documentary about their kind of behind the scenes. You don't know exactly how they do it. You just know that you see 2 guys on a screen at a desk. The video quality is decent background. And I feel like that's something that could either be a huge production set, or it could be a guy with a few Canon cameras, you know? But it turns out that they actually, Paul Molitor, I think Jonathan H. said the other day that he's not sure that anybody would want Paul Molitor. I don't know. He's one of those names that you see. Oh, good player, whatever. Albert Bell. I'll set that aside. Maybe somebody wants that. But it turns out that Good Mythical Morning is run very similar to a large production TV show. They have a huge staff. I don't remember. I know they've said it before exactly how many people they have working for them. But you can see, I follow them on Mike Bucina. Nice. You can follow them on Instagram and whatnot. and see that they just have an immense amount of staff and interns and production value. The cameras that they showed are huge, like movie producing cameras. And it's just crazy. And I thought, like, for a long time, right when I started following Eric, it was like, he probably does the same thing. I don't know. His videos are very well put together. I mean, they're very simple and perfect in that form. But the audio is good. He sounds great. You know, the video quality is good. There's no flaws in his game when he's cracking packs. Devin White. And Dante Bichette. Again, not sure if anybody wants it. So I'd love, so Eric, if for whatever reason you come across this, and you're 40 minutes into it, and you hear this, consider it. It might, I think that would be very, very interesting to see what goes into you doing a video. And maybe it's none of our business at all, but we, and the mystery, the element of surprise and the mystery of quality is just always going to be there, and we're always just going to be amazed, you know, by how you continue to do what you do. But if you ever do, I'd love to see how you do it. Because I'm halfway through a pack of 92 Top Stadium Club, and I am mismanaging my wrappers, I feel. So, and I could imagine when you're going through case, I gotta imagine you have some help. I would imagine. When you're cracking 5 cases of something over the course of hours, I mean, you gotta have somebody helping you, right? I would just imagine. I don't know. Just blows my mind. Sam Horn. Ozzie Guillen again. Oh, Jonathan H. loves his Ozzie Guillen. Jamie Quirk. Dave Rigetti. Dave Valle. Willie McGee. Milt Kyler. Set that aside, even though I got double to him. Kelvin Jones. Barry Larkin again. Scott Bradley. Lenny Harris. And Tommy Green. All right. We are getting down to it. A lot of guys, see, John Truckee on the back there. A lot of guys, they record these videos. I'm surprised how quickly you guys are able to get through these boxes. Maybe part of it is because I'm, you know, it's not easy wax to rip. I guess it's pretty easy. I'm not going to be a wimp about it or nothing, but a lot of these cards are upside down. Freddie Williams. Crook. Hey, look who makes his first appearance on the channel. Roger Clemens. That's a good looking photo. It almost seems like it's a little off center. I mean, it's not off center, but like the photo's off center. Like I feel like his hand's getting cut off here, but there's so much like white space. I mean, it's not white space technically, but non-focal point space over here. But still a very cool card nonetheless. Roger Clemens, a should-be Hall of Famer. And I think the other thing, going back to how you guys keep this rolling, is I am doing a significant amount of rambling. And when I started this, I was like, how am I going to fill so much time talking? But somehow you do. Very interesting, fun learning experience for me to open these and record it and talk and narrate. And Craig Biggio making his first appearance on the channel. Look, we're starting to get some guys here towards the bottom. It doesn't look like we have any more of the Series 2. Travis Fryman, nice. P. O'Brien, Doug Dascenzo. Dave Bergman again. Joe Orsulik, Orlando Merced. Chili Davis for the 19th time, probably. Dave Cochran. Rich Gedman, Brian Holman, and Mike Bordick. Starting to even get a pretty big stack of the ones that I'm not giving to Jonathan H. All right. Nice looking Kurt Schilling. Dave Magadan. Gary Wayne. Steve Avery. Matt Noakes. He played for the... I heard somebody say that they didn't like Matt Noakes. Maybe I don't think it was Jabs. Maybe it was. But I always liked Matt Noakes. He just seemed, in every Tigers card that I've ever had of him, he just seemed like he was just such a... I don't know, like a relatable, like, I don't even know. He looks like younger. Like a lot of these guys from this era honestly just look like grown men from a softball league. And I hate to put it that way. They were phenomenal athletes by no means. But compared to the way guys look today, I mean, they just don't have the mustaches and look at that. You don't see guys that look like that today. They just look like old, and maybe it's because I'm young and I'm looking at cards that are pre my existence, but they just all kind of look like male city league softball players. Not all of them, of course, but certainly not Cecil Fielder. But a lot of them do not look like primetime athletes. Nice David Justice. Cecil Fielder in a Tiger uniform. Gotta like that. Of course, I have Prince Fielder's jersey. And I remember when he got signed to the Tigers, it was like a 9-year deal. And it was right around the time where I was like, I'm going to get one of them a new nice, Phil Gullickson, like a new nice jersey. Because jerseys are, $140, from the team shop. Especially a guy like Prince Fielder, brand new player. Everybody wants, it's in demand. And, 9 years with the Tigers. That's what my head was. So when it came time to, getting a new jersey, that was my choice. So I said, a Prince Fielder, I can wear it for years. Well, he went, 2 seasons with the Tigers, then he went to wherever, the Rangers, and he just inevitably retired. And that whole theory of 9 years, I learned my lesson. It's so cool to have a Prince Fielder jersey, but it is not my go-to jersey when I go to the games. If I'm going to a Tiger game, I have a Verlander jersey, actually. Not that Verlander's was not my favorite player. Robin Ventura, that's coming to you, Jonathan H. Robin Ventura, Justin Verlander was not my favorite player. I always found him interesting, but I heard I don't know, you hear one thing when you're a kid or whatever about somebody, and it's just ingrained. That image is, man, the never-ending box, the Top Stadium Club. And that image is just ingrained in your head. And I got one of Justin Verlander and I got one of Jack Morris. And Jack Morris is a color analyst, or whatever you'd consider him, for the, moving the camera, for the Detroit Tigers. He announces games. He's on Fox Sports Detroit. Pretty much you can see him almost every day when the Tigers are playing. And he is a different person than I always pictured him to be. But with the Justin Verlander stories, I heard, and this is just a terrible way to judge people, but, hey, this is a community that judges a player based on their picture in a baseball card. So, that I heard that a kid walked up to him for an autograph, and he told him to get lost. And I heard a couple different versions of the story, but from my understanding, it happened during a spring training event. Well, sorry about that. My phone fell down. But Anyway, where I was Justin Verlander was with family, or something, something like that along those lines, with his girlfriend. I don't know, Kate Upton maybe at the time. I don't know. But some kid came up to him and asked him, and he told him to get lost. And that's pretty much exactly what I heard about Jack Morris. And I don't really have a problem with famous people, politely turning people down, especially if they're in a moment, like if they're out to eat, and I have a good Josh Hamilton story regarding this after this, but turning people down if it's inappropriate and the person asking is in some way out of line for asking, and that's fine. But if there's an opportunity, I feel like it is your obligation as a professional athlete to make that moment for whoever it is that is just happening. Maybe they're just lucky that they ran into you, and it's their once in a lifetime opportunity to talk to you. And I just think it's your obligation to make that moment. We're getting a lot of doubles. Bud Black, Ramon Martinez. So, with that being said, to me it seems important to also respect a player's personal space or an athlete's personal space. It's very, very circumstantial. But the Josh Hamilton story is very similar. Not that he turned anybody down, but I was in Arlington, actually the city of Arlington, Texas, which I know pretty much it seems like most people who are card breakers seem to be from Texas. But I was in Arlington, Texas. I go down to Texas quite a bit. I got my brother lives in Houston. I got an uncle in Fort Worth. So I'm down in Texas at least a couple of times a year. And I always try to catch a Ranger game or two while I'm down there. But I was in Arlington, downtown Arlington. I believe it was Arlington. I always get Arlington and Fort Worth mixed up. I believe it was maybe it was Fort Worth. I cannot remember. I think it was Arlington. Wherever there's a Top Golf. We're at a Top Golf. Hey, there's a George Brett. I think this is one of the above $1 booked cards. So that's going to be coming to Jonathan H for sure. And we're at the Top Golf. I think it was in Arlington. It's going to bother me now. It's just outside the city. And two Tigers player in a row, Mike Henneman. Nice. I used to have a Mike Henneman autograph card. I would say I used to have something, and then it's like, well, it's stored up somewhere. But I do have it. It's just not right here with me. And we're at the Top Golf, and Josh Hamilton walked in. And, if you've ever been to a Top Golf, it's like they have multiple bays. I was there with my girlfriend and my dad. And they have like different bays or what have you, where you hit and you have your screen and your table and all that. But the bays are right next to each other, so you're pretty much a few feet away from the person in the next bay. And it almost makes me a little nervous because you get like, drunk people who've never touched a golf club before in their lives. And that's pretty much what it's for. But drunk people who've never touched a golf club in their life out there taking hacks and flip-flops. And it does make me nervous a little bit. Because it takes nothing for somebody to hit one off the end of the club and it just goes straight at another bay. I'm not sure how frequently that happens. I'm sure it's happened. So you're right next to it. There's nothing really protecting. There's like the things the ball shoots out of that really would protect that from happening. But other than that, there's nothing really crazy protecting that from happening. And you're right up next to somebody. Whoopsies. I guess still gotta get used to this whole little space to record a baseball card opening video. And sure enough, Josh Hamilton walks in. Of course, no security or anything. It's not like a president, but he just walks right up. And he's with, I don't believe his wife. I did some research after it. I was like, was that his wife? Who's he with? Where's he from? Just trying to figure out. We are getting a ton of devils. Almost every pack has a card that was in the last pack. But he walks up with, I believe it was his girlfriend. Or it could be his sister. I have no idea. I think it was his girlfriend, though. And with, I believe, her parents. I want to say it was her parents. Because he's from, like, North or South Carolina or something. So, I mean, I guess it's possible that they were still in that area. You know, but I believe it was her parents. And he was there, and he was just like, looked like he was just having family time. He was literally right next to me. And nobody bothered him. People knew he was there. Some people including myself, gonna be guilty. I took a photo. I was like, you know, just him swinging the club. He monster dude. Nice, Cecil Fielder again. David Justice. But I took a photo. But nobody bothered him. You could tell that there was clearly, somebody in that area. I'm sure Josh Hamilton's a huge name. They still do at Globe Life. They still do Josh Hamilton bobblehead giveaways and Josh Hamilton this and that. Like, he's pretty well liked, from my understanding, or at least still respected. Man, look at that. I'm almost thinking these packs are almost exactly the same every time. I think these are the same two end of the pack Tigers that we got. Which is the case, because we got, a few George Bretts and David Justices, too. And a Les Lancaster. But we're down to our final pack. Just getting lost in the story. I'll finish the story, finish the pack, and we'll close this out. But one, like, 2 or 3-year-old girl with her mom walked up to him and said, "Can I have an autograph?" And he was more than willing to do it. He made it wasn't, "Oh, here you go, sign it and get along," you know. He stopped and he talked to them and talked to them for a few minutes. And he was with family. And to me, that's a big win in my book. Nobody really, and maybe he respected it. Nobody was really, another Mickey Tettleton, that nobody was really bothering him. And, it could have been worse, I'm sure, in his mind that, you always take that risk, I'm sure, if you're that high profile, especially in that area, where everybody knows who you are. That high profile of a person coming through, you have to expect to some extent that there's going to be people. And that was the only one. One little girl and her mom walked up, asked for an autograph. He smiled, signed the little hat. And that was that. So that was really cool. I mean, it was cool. It was like I would take my shots, and then it was like I just watch him swing and hit. And maybe that's bothersome. I don't know. Maybe that's bothersome for some athletes or professional people, just to be watched. But I mean, what are you gonna do? I didn't bother, harass, or nothing like that. So and neither did anybody else. So I was very proud of. It would have been cool to get a photo. It would have been cool to get an autograph. I already have a Josh Hamilton autograph. I mean, it wasn't a once in a lifetime opportunity to get an autograph from him, but still very cool. And that's, I guess, you just gotta respect athletes as people. But I think that athletes should also respect people as kind of, part of who they are and part of what makes them them. So that finishes out 1992 Topps Stadium Club. I believe this video is going to be almost an hour long. I'm so sorry for the 2 people who think they want to watch this. But yeah, that was a really fun break. A lot of similar cards. Maybe it's just because it's Series 1, a full box of Series 1. And Series 2 seemed like it was very similar, but different players almost. So I'd be curious. Maybe I'll go on there and see if they got Series 2 and Series 3, and compare them as far as what players are. Maybe I can just find a list online. But yeah, so this is the pile that I got coming to you, Jonathan H., if you are at this point in the video for whatever reason. And I will get these sorted out. I will get them in a team bag. I'm not sure that there's anything necessarily worth top loading, maybe. I don't know. if there was a Nolan Ryan here, I would have top loaded it for sure. But most of it's commons. I think the most valuable card in here might book at $1. So that was a fun break. I love ripping packs. It's like a very minimal way to put like the way you feel like on Christmas morning type of thing. Like just excitement of surprise. Just love surprise. So we were able to get a decent haul here of things that are worth our time, worth sending out, worth people might want. That's pretty good. Yeah, with that, I will close out the video. Jonathan H., you got this pretty thick stack coming to you in a team bag or two. Yeah, and I hope that everything sounds all right with that. We only had one situation which my phone fell. Probably a lot of rambling and a lot of seeing a lot of the same guys. But baseball card ripping is in my opinion, the absolute best way to waste time. And probably money. But I love to do it. It's something I love to watch people do, and can't control that, I suppose. So as far as that goes, have a good one, everybody. If you're at this point in the video, and so long.